friends, welcome. If this is your first time visiting, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Thanks so much for stopping in. I appreciate having you here. If you haven't already done so, please hit the subscribe button. I'd love to have you as a subby friend. So today we are going to make a DIY homemade piñata. So I am just mixing up all of my mix. So I'm using flour, water, and glue. Now, you don't have to put glue in it. You can put more flour. I'm putting glue in this because what I'm putting inside of it is going to be heavy. So I want this to be a very, very sturdy paper mache. Now, I'm using a balloon. I like to use the balloons that have like the bouncy rubber band on them because that helps when I'm going to have it dry. So then I mix up my mix and I take newspaper, tear it into strips, put it in, and cover my entire balloon. Now, this is why I was saying I like the ones with the string because I like to be able to hang them outside and let them dry really good. So let it dry completely between layers, and how many layers you do will be completely up to you. If you're going to have little kids only hitting it, then a few, couple few layers. If you're going to have adults hitting it, do multiple layers. This one ends up having 6 layers. One time I made one 12 layers when my daughter was in high school because the football team was going to be hitting it, and it still took them an hour to get that thing open, and it was so much fun. So you judge how many layers you need by how it feels, but please make sure it dries completely between your layers. That is the big key. And then hang it up to dry, but pay attention, if it's going to rain or anything like that, make sure you bring it in. Okay, so once I get all my layers on, I'm going to take this and I am going to spray paint it, which I did. And you can see I have like some clear tape on it. I started to use this purple tape from the Dollar Tree. It was terrible. Started coming up. The clear tape is easy to break, but I wanted my layers that were kind of poking out, I wanted them to lay flat before I put cray paper on it. Now, if I wanted to just paint this, I could have smoothed out my edges and it would have been fine. Now, also you see I've got duct tape across over the bottom of it and also around the top. So the cross on the bottom is because I want to make sure that the bottom is nice and sturdy because that's where the weight is going to be, is there. And then also at the top where it's being held so that they can hit it. So that's why the duct tape is there. Now, I'm going to decorate this with cray paper in the form of streamers. You can use anything that you want to decorate these. Now, it's funny, you can see Scott walking past. So, like, you can use tissue paper. You can make your paint your paper on it, the paper mache, super smooth and just paint it. There are so many things you can do. But I'm going to use these streamers. Now, I like to fold them and then cut some fringe. Now, I could have done this entire thing like that, and it would have looked better. But this is a big piñata, and I didn't want to do that. I didn't have the time. So I'm doing fringe just around the top of it. And then the rest of it, I'm going to do regular cray paper. And I'm going to do it loose so that it bunches up kind of like ribbon. Now, I'm using tacky glue for this, but remember, when you use glue and cray paper, the cray paper will stick to anything with the glue, so it will stick to your hands very easy. And then I'm also going to put a nice tail on it, and there it goes. It's done. Now, I let this dry completely. I did make the mistake of leaving it on my porch. It was very windy and rainy lately, so my cray paper got a little bit mixed up. There's my tail. My crepe paper got a little bit messed up, but it's fine. They're just going to beat this thing until it opens, so that's perfectly fine. Now, this is going to be a piñata that is for both adults and children. So it is not full of candy. As you can see, I am filling it full of just all kinds of goodies. So this is a very expensive piñata. You can put whatever you want inside it because making the piñata itself is not expensive. It just depends on what you want inside it. Now, this is for my niece's graduation, so I wanted it to have all kinds of good stuff in there. There's going to be children as well as adults, so I'm putting lots of things in there. I save things from the Dollar Tree all the time, especially when I get the really good items that shouldn't actually be $1. And I've got a nice big stash of stuff for this. So I'm going to fill it up, and the fingerlings and stuff that are in my bucket, I put those to the side because those are actually for my grandson's Easter basket. They were not meant to be for this. I just happened to throw them in there. So I'm just going to fill this completely up. It's starting to get heavy, so it wants to dip on me. Just turn it to the side and keep filling. And like I said, you can put whatever you want in it. So I've got all kinds of just really good stuff, from chapstick to air fresheners for cars, little toys for kids. I've got a little bit of candy, but not much. They're going to get enough candy for Easter. And yeah, so this is really fun. Just do what you want. You can see I'm kind of stalling because I want you to see how much stuff I'm putting in it, because it's going to be very heavy, but it's going to hold really, really well. So we're just going to continue putting everything in, and I'm going to continue to ramble like I've actually got something to say. And then once everything's in it, we'll move on. Now, just so you know, for holding it up, I'm using a old clothes hanger. So I use my little hand drill and I put a hole in each side so you can see where that duct tape is really, really handy. And remember, I put the duct tape on the inside as well as the outside. So I'm going to put a hole in it and then just use my wire from my hanger and bring it through and kind of twist it up. Now I'm going to be making the handle. I'm going to go across both ways because, like I said, this is heavy and I want it to have, a good foundation for holding it up. And this will be nice and strong. So just again, using my hand drill, put it through, just use a little pair of pliers to twist my wire up. And it is as simple as that. Now, I would suggest you need to start at least a week before you need this, but I would suggest 2 weeks to give yourself enough time, because you're going to do a layer, let it dry, do a layer, let it dry. So I generally do a layer in the mornings and let it dry all night. All right, well, listen, I hope you guys have a blessed and beautiful day, and I hope you like it. I hope it was helpful. Thanks, friends. Bye.